Hi everyone, I'm Taluka from Markers and Minions, and this is my Facebook group. Welcome. So for this evening's live, I'm going to be talking about Unit 3, our first science unit. I realize that probably this is a little bit early for many of us, but I know that I have the next few Sundays booked up, so I wanted to make sure that I did a Unit 3 video. That way, when you are ready to start Unit 3, you can come back to this and check out the unit that I'm going to create on this. So in our Facebook group, if you aren't familiar with this already, I have the ability to make units, and it's kind of confusing because it's called units on Facebook, and then these units are about our benchmark units. So don't get those mixed up. Anyway, you can find the units that I create by looking on the, if you're on a desktop, you can look on the left-hand navigation and you'll see a tab that says units. Click on that and you'll see everything that I create there. If you're on your cell phone, you'll see like just above, I think it's just above where you post, you'll see the option to click on a menu. Let me see. And then you just scroll through a little bit and then you'll find units that way. That's also how you find the videos and photos for everything that's shared in our group. Okay, so check it out. It's right above where you post. See this part here? You would click on units. Where is that? Right there. So anyway, whenever we are starting a new unit, all of the resources that I compile, the collaborative Pinterest board that I started with this last unit, photos, videos from last year, this year, I'll throw it all there so it's easy to find. And then that's quick reference for you. Anyway, also, these videos that I'm filming also end up on my YouTube channel. That way you can share it with people outside of Facebook. My YouTube channel is it's called Markers and Minions, or search Taluka Rivers and you will find it. If you're more of an Instagram teacher, I'm kind of a one-woman account, so I do have an Instagram account where I just share everything, benchmark and not benchmark. That's Markers and Minions on Instagram. So you can follow me there too. I also have a website, markersandminions.com. That's where you'll find videos and blog posts and lots of stuff on there for you to check out as well. All right. Hi, everyone tuning in. Happy Sunday, Gail. Yay, you're not taking a nap. You're not sleeping through my live video this week. Hi, Maria. Welcome to your first live video. Hi, Laura. Hi, Mindy. All right, so I've got an agenda here. Let me kind of get organized. So Unit 3, first science unit. Unit 1 was all government, social studies. Unit 2 is fun, it's fiction, literature. Now we are at Unit 3, and it's science related, science aligned. I have a poll up at the top of this live video in the thread here. It says, when are you starting Unit 3? If you can just go ahead and answer that for me, that lets me know if you're starting it, if you're already in it, if you've already started it, if you're starting it this week or in the next couple of weeks, just kind of so I can gauge where you're all at. The theme across the grade levels, I have them all printed out here. I'm going to read through it and kind of do an overview, and then I'm going to show you how it really shifts once you get to 4th grade. But you'll see how this topic grows. So in kinder, your theme is plants and animals have needs, and your essential question is, why do living things have needs? And so keyword living things, you'll see that carried on throughout the grade levels. In this unit, students read and compare selections about animals and plants to learn what living things need to survive. I'm just pulling this information straight out of the TRS. So you're going to be talking about plants and animals and their necessities. In 1st grade, plants and animals grow and change. And your essential question is, why do living things change? In this unit, students read and compare selections about animals and plants to understand how living things grow and change. So life cycle. Very similar, just builds a little bit off of kinder. And in second grade, plants and animals in their habitats. How do living things get what they need to survive? In this unit, students read and compare selections about plants and animals to understand how living things get what they need in their habitats. I've taught this unit to second grade before. It's pretty fun. That's where you can kind of do your habitat study and, you know, your dioramas that you do every year anyway. Third grade, animal adaptations. How do living things adapt to change? In this unit, students will read and compare selections to learn about animal adaptations. Super fun. I've got a ton of ideas about that because I've taught that 2 years now. Okay, then we get to fourth grade and there's a huge shift. Now in fourth and fifth grade, you either enjoy it or you feel very strong hatred towards it. The people that enjoy it have some really cool ideas and they're shared in this group. If you are struggling with this unit in fourth and fifth grade, just refer back to our group, find all the goodies that have been created and the ideas and photos that have been shared, and that might help you out. I also know that you can do a novel study to replace, I think it's fourth grade. I think there's a novel study that you can do to replace this unit if you wanted to. And we'll talk about novel studies in a minute. There's always a world of questions around that. Fourth grade, observing nature. How do we respond to nature? In this unit, students will read and compare selections about nature to analyze how different writers respond to the natural world. So you're going to be reading a lot of poetry. You'll be reading the writing of John Burroughs. You'll be analyzing how he writes of his observations of birds and cats, and it's really advanced writing. And then you've also got Birches, that's a very advanced poem. It all revolves around the theme of interacting and being out in nature. So one of the ideas that's shared a lot is to go and have the students do the same. So have them observe nature, have them be out in nature. You can even teach this to them while they're outside if you're in an area that's not too freezing. You can show them video clips, songs about nature, anything really. There's a fourth grade, she was a fourth grade teacher, Cheryl. She teaches kinder now, but she had a lot of great ideas for fourth grade. She would have her students respond to different quotes by John Burroughs. Digitally, she brought in a lot of tech. I made this little journal. It's a freebie to kind of help you out, fourth grade teachers, if you do choose to do this unit. It's free on my TPT. It's just a little nature reflection journal. So the first page is reflect. What is your favorite part about being out in nature? What type of nature do you like to be amongst, and how does being out in nature make you feel? So there's one. And I haven't figured out my printer yet, so sorry, I didn't print this out right. But anyway, this prints out on the inside. Second page is a journal entry. It says, write a journal entry about a time you spent out in nature. Maybe it was a day at the beach, a camping trip, an afternoon spent hiking, or a weekend at a lake. Use descriptive language in your journal entry because you will be analyzing descriptive language, obviously, in your unit with your poetry and your very descriptive John Burroughs writing. The next page is poetry. So write a poem about something in nature. It can be thoughtful and reflective or silly and light. Use vivid language and include an illustration. And then the last page is respond. I took one of the quotes from John Burroughs. I go to nature to be soothed and healed and to have my senses put in order. This is a quote by John Burroughs. What does this quote make you think of? Can you relate to this quote? think of a time that being in nature made you feel better. And that's it. And this is the whole thing. If you have any other ideas, I can add more pages to this if you want. Anyway, I will link that and I'll put that in the unit after I create it, after this video. Let me stop and look at questions real quick. See if my internet's caught up. If my internet does go out, I will start a new video. Just refresh the Facebook group. You'll see it again. Hi, Lisa from the SF Bay area. I just got back from San Francisco yesterday. We had a really wonderful week, my family and I. We came back last night. I came back a little earlier and I had my first girls' night since having Ruby a few months ago. I went and saw Dierks Bentley at the Hollywood Bowl. Gail, I'm not taking a nap. I learned about a green screen and made an Instagram account this weekend. Woohoo! I saw you made an Instagram account. Quinn has some really awesome green screen projects that she does and that she shares a lot. She's like the queen of incorporating technology and art. So I will try to link her stuff as well. You can do a lot of fun. She shared like a diorama she made with her second graders and she filmed them inside their diorama somehow. It was magic. Me too. Yeah. Quinn says, love this unit because I love animals. Starting Unit 3, October 22nd. Making dioramas and rain sticks. Can't wait to see that. I teach a 3-4 combo. This is from Lisa. And totally agree on the shift in Unit 3 between the two grades. Loved 3rd grade and felt about 4th grade last year. We'll definitely look to adjust the 4th grade Unit 3 this year. Yeah, they're so different. That'd be really tough with a combo. I'm excited to see how to make corn exciting. Okay, speaking of, next is 5th grade. By the way, if you don't like these units, please don't post that on my group. Don't send me mean emails. Don't send me nasty comments on YouTube. It's not my fault, okay? It happens too, and I'm just like, oh, sorry, I didn't write it. 5th grade, cultivating natural resources. How do we decide which resources we should develop? In this unit, students read and compare selections about cultivating food in the past and today to understand how we develop our natural resources. So you will be learning everything there is to know about corn and the history of corn in our country. You will learn the structure of a corn plant. You will learn about corn's uses and corn products, where we can find them. You will learn all about the controversies around corn and ethanol, and you will analyze arguments and debates, and by the end of it, your students are going to be corn experts. They could become professional farmers if they wanted to. On that note, there is a teacher in the Central Valley named Veronica Phillips, and she embraced this unit last year. She went all out, has wonderful, wonderful, wonderful ideas about how to bring this unit to life, how to make it a little less boring and tough and difficult. And she wrote a guest blog post for my website. So I mentioned it in the last video, I'm looking for other people to start bringing into my whole Markers and Minions project or brand or whatever. I'd love to start hearing from other people's ideas and experiences. So she wrote about her experience with her 5th graders last year. And so if you are teaching this corn unit, you should definitely check out her blog post. And she includes a couple pictures of her focus wall and how she actually put a real life corn stalk on her focus wall. And she included a photo of her chart, one of the charts she did. There's also a member of this group, Erica, A-R-I-K-A. So if you search her in our search bar within our group, she has some really excellent charts also for 5th grade Unit 3. She's a GLAD teacher. Back to that blog post, to kind of accompany that blog post, I created a freebie, also for you 5th grade teachers, called Find the Corn. So Veronica does a corn scavenger hunt with her students. So after they learn about corn and all of its uses, she challenges them to go and find corn products, either out in at the grocery store, just looking around in their pantry or medicine cabinet, or by researching online. So this is just a quick, easy find the corn scavenger hunt. And then at the bottom, what is the strangest item you found? So I had a lot of fun making these. This is some corn clip art. It's free on TPT. I'll have to find the seller's name. I don't know, if you just search corn clip art, I found this and I was so excited. So I put this in my closed reading companions, and it's also on here. And then this past week I learned how to make fonts. So this is my own handwriting, but it's a font. Isn't that cool? Anyway, this is on my website. It's linked in her blog post. This is not on my TPT. If you click on it in my website, it'll take you to like order it. You order it from markersandminions.com and it's free. It's $0. So there you go. So that's kind of fun too. Let's see. And then 6th grade, your topic is relationships in nature. Your essential question, what roles can we play in the balance of nature? In this unit, students will read and compare selections about people's experiences in the natural world to develop an understanding of the role we play in the balance of nature. So I haven't seen much shared for 6th grade. Just in general, 6th grade teachers, we don't have as many of you in here. So there's not as many resources available for you all. Hopefully this year we'll have a little more collaboration for our 6th grade teachers, since I did add a whole bunch of you guys over the summer. So I'd love to see what you're doing with that. Okay, let me check on comments here. Lots of corn emojis, love it. Thank you, Mindy. It's crazy. I was in San Francisco this past week and I got a message from a parent saying, just complaining about Benchmark. And I was like, I think your anger is misdirected. Try reaching out to them. Thank you. Miss Cuevas. Totally new to Benchmark, transitioning slowly. So glad I found you all. Love the supportive environment. Woohoo, welcome. Quinn says this week, Quinn's a 2nd grade teacher. This week we are expecting a very special guest appearance coming to talk to our 2nd graders. I will reveal who the VIP is by posting pictures, and it all goes along with 3rd grade. Wait, 3rd grade unit 1? No, unit 3, 2nd grade, right, Quinn? That I can't wait to see that. That reminds me, 3 years ago when I taught this to my 2-3 combo, we did 2nd grade was like habitats and animals in their habitats, and then 3rd grade was adaptations. I brought in a zoologist. She was just from our community. She came into our class and she actually showed a video of her research that she did in Madagascar. And she studied the animals there and their adaptations and their interactions with each other and with their environment. And it was really neat to hear a firsthand account. There was also, I wanted to, last year, one of the ideas I had was to contact like a local zoo and have the students Skype with a zoologist there. I know that like my favorite zoo is the Santa Barbara Zoological Gardens there. And I wanted to reach out to them, but I'm kind of challenged when it comes to tech, so I couldn't figure out how to do a Skype with them. But that might be a fun option also. Gail, for 5th grade, I think a popcorn party would be in order. Absolutely. I am piloting Benchmark with 1st grade and my students are loving it. Yay! Hi, Hi, Adriana. You are looking good, girl. Thank you. How's the baby? She's good. She's getting chunky. And she just started laughing yesterday. Thanks for asking. Can you post the link to your website? Sure. I will. I'm trying to take it easy on my computer and my internet, so I'm trying not to open any other tabs. I will post.
I don't know that.
Computer stop. I will try to post. I will post links to like my website and this blog post and everything that I mentioned afterwards, and I'll put it into that unit that I create. Happy Sunday. Let's see. Okay, Quinn says, nope, actually it's 3rd grade unit 1. Okay, so the government unit for 3rd grade. It was such an opportunity that I had to go for it. The 2nd graders will just have a prequel of what is to come. Gail says, Gail teaches 2nd. For unit 3, we take a trip to Safari Park, the wild animal park. That's so fun. Last year, Robin made a thing that's in our collaborative drive. It's like a flip book. That's it. It's a flat book or flip book, and it's for like a zoo trip. If you end up taking your kids to the zoo, it's something that they can use. I think it's meant for 3rd grade. Okay, let's talk about the chart behind me. Let me know if there are any questions about like the topic, the alignment, the progression, or specifics. I did the close reading companions for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So if I think really hard, I can remember like what your texts are about. So if you have any like specific questions about your texts or your lessons, I can answer those or try to answer those for you. All right, these charts. So this is for 3rd grade. You can do it for probably 2nd as well. You can do a simplified version for 1st and kinder. 4th and 5th, yours are going to look different. It's a different focus. But anyway, for our unit, it aligns really well to NGSS and ecosystems and interactions. So what I did was I found Nat Geo magazines, and I just cut out pictures of animals in their habitats. And I took the main topics of what we'd be talking about, and I front-loaded. So I talked about what a description is and how every time we read about a new animal, we are going to have to describe their characteristics. We're going to talk about what type of animal they are, so mammal, reptile, etc. Then I talked about the ecosystem and how an ecosystem is dynamic, it's interactive, it consists of living and non-living things. And I talked about a few different ecosystems here. And then the diet. So carnivores, herbivores, omnivores, I brought in that vocabulary. Survival, that's a word you'll be using quite a bit. Down here, I don't know if you can see, life cycle. So this is really for 2nd grade. And I talked about down here the example of a butterfly, classic, right? So this you'll probably use in 1st grade also. Interactions, how animals interact with each other, with their environment, what they eat, where they live, and then I talked about if they're prey or if they're predators. And then up here it faded, but this is adaptation. And so it's how living things change so they can survive. Adaptations happen over time, and there are 2 types. It can be behavioral, or structural, or physical. That's specific to grade 3. This is a chart that we referenced, that I taught in the beginning, and then we referenced it with every text that we read. I also brought in an animal project, so an animal report. I did the diorama, the habitats for my 2nd graders, and then we also did an animal report where my students had to choose an animal, and it's a Google Slides research report. And I got the inspiration from the benchmark writing for the California benchmark edition, California edition, 3rd grade. I think it's like week 1. The writing prompt is about animal adaptations. And I took that prompt and I kind of turned it into a project, a research project. And then I brought in a lot of those writing lessons, but made it so that it's in Google Slides format. So like how to analyze a table of contents and sources, research, all that, keywords. So I did that, and then the students also created their own little posters. This was my example, because I did the project alongside them just to help guide them. So I did the African elephant. And little pro tip, just Google images, something projected on your screen, trace. You'll have beautiful anchor charts. All right, so I use the same categories, right, to stay consistent. And then I talked about, like, when I research these categories, this is the kind of information that I want you to pull out. So when you're researching the description, this is what I want to see. So mammal, the weight, the height, the parts on the body, interesting information, like they're pregnant for 22 months. And then ecosystem, where can you find them? What do they eat? What's their life cycle? Like, is it a live birth? Is it an egg? What's the terminology you might use? What's their life expectancy? 70 years down at the bottom there. Interactions, so like, are they prey? Are they predators? What else did I put here? If they're weak or sick, a lion may eat them. And then humans can be a threat. So basically, what do they threaten? What threatens them? And then lastly, adaptation. So what are some of the structural and behavioral adaptations that your animal has? So this is really 3rd grade focused. I think you could probably pull it off in 2nd grade as well. Simplified version in 1st grade, where you're studying like one living thing and maybe just the life cycle of it. And then 4th and 5th, sorry friends, it's totally different. If I were a 4th grade teacher, I would talk about interactions still. I would keep this one, because you will be reading about like how birds interact with their environment and food, and you'll read about specifically like a cat preying on like a mouse, I think it was. So things like that, interactions. You might want to talk about diet. You can bring in the description, but also you're going to have to focus on like your senses and how humans interact with nature and language. So like bringing in a lot of like vivid language. That's like a really big focus for Unit 3. And then 5th grade, there's plenty of awesome charts that you can look up. Okay, let me check in with comments. I'm blind. This is a great way to explore our national parks and is a Skype-in field trip. Oh yeah, okay, I've heard about this, and this was also brought up last year. I think someone did this. Thank you for that link, Liz. So you can, I think that's where you Skype with a park ranger at a national forest. They're like, that's their job. Like, they do for virtual field trips for students. Michelle Toluca, who makes the zoo flip book? Robin made it. She shared it in our files last year, and then it's also on our collaborative drive. I believe it's under 3rd grade. Yeah, so you can find it in there. If you don't know the link to the collaborative drive, look at the top of our wall where it says announcements. Anything that I like want to pin to the top, any posts that I don't want to get lost in the feed, I'll lock up there. You'll see announcements, and then you have to click on see all to expand them, because there's like 7 or 8 of them. One of them is the collaborative drive link. So if you ever lose it or you forget it, just go there and under the announcements and click it. Last year, we Skyped all over the USA, national parks, museums, and famous children's authors. One of my all-time favorites is Josh Funk. He's amazing and goes along with 2nd grade Unit 2. Quinn, you need to do a blog post for me. You need to share all of your fun resources and ideas. so that we can link them whenever we need them. It's all about the corn. Okay. So anyway, those are some charts that I used. I talked about projects. I did the diorama. Quinn did it better. I brought in my technology, my Google Slides, which was fancy for me, doing the animal project. Let's see what else. There's a lot of like poetry that you can bring in for Unit 4, have the students create their own poems. For grade 4, sorry. For grade 5, some of the projects I saw last year were corn art, where you actually like use the kernels to create artwork. You can obviously do a huge argumentative writing piece. I know that some teachers like to bring in Writer's Universe for this unit. They have their 5th graders choose a stance, right? So ethanol versus not. And then they write like a debate, like a argumentative piece, and then they use Writer's Universe to publish. I don't know if everyone has Writer's Universe. It's like an additional thing that you buy. If you do have it, it'll be on your dashboard. When you log in, you'll see like Benchmark Advanced, and then all the additional things your district purchased. So Writer's Universe is in there. But if you don't have that, you can just publish it any other way. All right, I'm going to create a Pinterest board. I don't know about tonight, but soon. I'll create a Pinterest board for Unit 3, and I'll divide it up into grade levels, just like I did with Unit 2. If you're on Pinterest, if you're a Pinterest kind of person, I'm Markers and Minions on there, and you'll see my last board that I created is Unit 2. You click on that and expand it. You'll see kinder through 6th grade, different pins of like resources and project ideas that go well with that topic. So I'll do the same for Unit 3. If you have any pins that you want me to link, including like TPT resources like on Pinterest, we can totally spam out. That's what it's for. In the group here, I like to keep links off of this, but if you have a neat pin to a resource or a blog post or something, totally send it my way and I'll pin it to that specific grade level. All right, I think that's it, guys. I'm starting to get better at Instagram, so if you do have some cool photos that you put on your Instagram, tag me in them, Markers and Minions, so I can see them and like repost them and share them. And going back to that guest blogging, if you have a tip, anything, can be about anything, any unit, if you think that other teachers will benefit from it, send it to me. I'll post it along with your, links to your social media accounts if you want that, or a photo of you if you want that. And then that can be a great way for us to collaborate. Sarah says, yes, kernel corn art, popcorn party at the end. Also pulled in a lot on photosynthesis. Oh yeah, I did that with my 2nd graders quite a bit, photosynthesis. Google Draw for students showing the process of photosynthesis. That's awesome. Yeah, a few years ago I did it with my 2nd graders, and I found like a cute TPT thing, like an interactive thing. I'll try to find that and put it on the Pinterest. All right, guys, so the comments are lagged, but I'm so happy that my internet didn't cut out. Hallelujah. I'll end this and I'll start creating that unit. If you have any questions, just go ahead and post them for me here. I'll come back and check on this throughout the evening, and I will start typing in some of the responses that I've said verbally, so that for people who don't want to watch the whole thing, they can just read through the comments. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I will be starting my Unit 4 close reading companions this week, so if anyone was thinking about messaging me about that, that's when it's starting. Bye, guys.